Hi everyone, I've got a review for you today on a brand new house, a very unknown, under the radar house at the moment, and the house is called Lee Ross. It's Lee Ross Parfums, based in the UK, and the owner and creative director Lee Ross got in contact with me and wanted to send me a sample, and that is what I have right here. I've tried it a few times and today I have made proper notes and I'm going to give you a review. Hopefully it'll be a quick one. So I sprayed it this morning at about 9:30 on my wrist here. Time is now nearly 5 PM. I can still smell it, so already longevity is fantastic. Let's start with the opening. So I'm going to spray the top of my hand with to remind myself of the opening notes. So let me give you the actual official notes. Watermelon, lemon and ambergris. Musk, jasmine and violet. Cedar, amber and spices. Now, when I first read the notes before I smelt the fragrance, I thought maybe it's inspired by Millesime Imperial from Creed, only because of the watermelon and the ambergris and the cedar. But I don't think it is. When you first smell it, you can smell the lemon. I don't really smell watermelon specifically. I got more of a red, fruity kind of feel, but only very faint. So lemon, red fruit. But mostly I get a blast of cold air, which initially I wrote down was like opening the freezer. And I realised when I sprayed it on paper to get the opening again, that I think I'm smelling aldehydes. Cold and fizzy and smooth and clean, but it smells like aldehydes to me. But it translates as cold air from the freezer. I'm picturing a forest covered in snow because there's also some greenery that's coming through. Smooth, greeny, forestry kind of scent. It kind of smells a little bit like a typical men's cologne, in that it does give you that clean, almost shower gel like feel as well. It's fresh and herbal, and it reminds me of Cool Water by Davidoff and Green Irish Tweed from Creed. I've also written Adidas Ice Dive, and I mean no disrespect. Adidas Ice Dive is not a bad fragrance, and I can tell you that Mr. Smelly actually really likes that one because he has my bottle that I bought. We won't go there. But mostly I would say it reminds me of Green Irish Tweed, but it doesn't feel like a clone. It just has some things in common, and I believe, and I could be wrong, that the common component is something called dihydromercenol, and that gives a kind of green, mossy yet aquatic feel to fragrances. It's in Cool Water and it's in Green Irish Tweed, and I feel like it's in this fragrance too. It feels classic and masculine, but it's herbal and spicy, and as it dries down you lose that fresh freezer door aldehydic lemony opening quite quickly, and I sense a very dark undertone in the fragrance for a brief period of time that reminds me a little bit of Club de Nuit Intense Man. The opening of that has a very dark, slightly smoky scent to it. And it reminds me of that. It's like a dark woods or a dark patchouli kind of scent that's sitting underneath everything. So it's a little bit smoky, but there's some sweetness that starts to creep in, and I feel like there's a bit of an ambery accord. It's never an amber fragrance, but it just feels like there's just an undertone of amber that's giving it a bit of depth and a bit of sweetness. It gets really quite deep on my skin quite quickly, and when I say Club de Nuit Intense Man, it's almost like a rubbery type scent to me, almost like a burnt rubber, but it doesn't hang around very long, and it's underneath everything, so it's not in your face, and if you're smelling it in the air you won't really pick up on it. But when I'm doing that I was picking up on it. But the strange thing is the fragrance then lightens up over time. It actually lightens up. It seems to lose that burnt rubbery type scent very quickly, and it becomes more of an aquatic fragrance to my nose. A tiny bit of Isoe Super, I feel, is in there, just a little bit, but not that anyone's really going to notice. But when you're like analysing it, that's what I think I smell. It's like a musky cedar, some aquatic notes. The florals I don't pick up on too much. I don't get violet at all, and the jasmine is very, very light. So if you're afraid of florals, don't let that put you off this one. It seems to me to just become an aquatic, musky, woodsy scent. The whole thing makes me feel like it could have been inspired by Creed's most popular fragrances, but it's not a clone of any particular one. So from that point of view, I think it's good value because it's £65 for 50ml. It's a niche fragrance, a very small brand. It's a very first release, and it's lasted me all day, and it has a mass appeal, but it's not typical designer. Designers these days go very sweet. This is not a very sweet fragrance. It's more salty, woodsy, aquatic, classic, kind of classic fragrance rather than clubbing, Eros kind of thing. So who would buy this fragrance? Well, I'll tell you now, I won't buy this fragrance, and it's only because it's just not my style. I don't really do aquatics. I don't really enjoy the note that I believe to be the Hydrus de Mercenal. It's just something about that doesn't quite gel with me. I feel like the fragrance is just a bit too masculine for my taste, and a bit green as well. So I wouldn't buy it. I would recommend it though to anyone that wants to take their first steps into niche perfumery, or anyone that wants to support an independent small brand and still have a good quality fragrance that lasts all day long and is quite mass appealing, very versatile. It's not leaning any particular season to me. It feels like you would just wear it any time. Maybe you'd rather not in the deepest of winter, just because you might prefer to wear something deeper and darker, but you could wear it in winter, absolutely. It doesn't lean particularly formal or particularly frivolous. It's very much a signature scent worthy in that respect, a perfect everyday work scent for quite a good value, I think. So that's my opinion. It's beginner niche, leaning masculine, and it could also work for people that only like designers, because it fits the designer category, really being it's quite mass appealing. If you like Green Irish Tweed and Cool Water, then you're almost certainly going to like this one. It's not the same, it's just a different, it goes in different directions, but it feels like it has parts of the components of those running through it. And that's it. I hope that was useful to you. I'll link the website below. Thank you again to Lee Ross for sending me the sample, and I'll catch you all in another video.